For some people, learning some languages or even subjects like math, chemistry, biology, or physics is something almost impossible. Some people think that they can never learn it and they just don't have the talent for it. But right now, I'm just gonna tell you that this not might be the case or not 100% true at all. In some ways, it might actually be true that some people are slower or understand it a little bit harder, but I don't believe that someone is stupid. I don't. And I don't believe that someone is untalented to actually learn something, because I believe that everyone is able to learn basically anything. So learning hard subjects like math, biology, chemistry, and so on can be hard, but not impossible. If you struggle with math and you get F and D's, I can guarantee if you follow some steps, you can actually get to a B or even to an A. From my experience, I tutored 2 or 3 kids and they got Fs. They got constant Fs or Ds and they didn't know that they could pass the class, and they passed. Because I helped them, I showed them how to do it, and they passed the class and they got Bs, sometimes C's, and one kid got from an F to an A because I taught him how to actually study certain stuffs like math or physics. Even though I'm not a math expert, but I understand a lot or a big spectrum of math, and I know how to actually explain it, which is maybe a talent to know how to explain stuff. But I realized that it's not hard to understand math because there are different ways how to understand it or how to learn it. That actually brings me to the fact of where I realized that learning something is not impossible. Everything is possible to learn. There are 2 groups that I would like to focus on. The first group is daily habits, and the second group is study materials, study methods, or even study techniques. If I have to focus on the first group, daily habits, they are actually influencing the study habits because that's the main group you have to focus on. If you, for example, don't feel motivated throughout the day, you're low on energy, you don't know what to do, you should actually focus on it because that will influence how you study or even how you work out, how you do sports, and all of the other stuff. Your whole day, week, month, or year, or your whole life even. These are just going to be my daily habits or my opinion on things that help me to actually be the most productive and learn anything as fast as I can, as good as I can, and how to understand things as good as I can, or basically anything. So in my opinion, what helped me is that I realized that I'm too much on my phone, that I'm not moving enough, I'm not drinking enough water, and that I'm not getting enough sunlight, or that I'm not socializing enough. These tips are told by everyone because they work almost for everyone. The usual tips like socializing, moving enough, and having enough sunlight. I mean, when it's winter or cold outside, getting enough sunlight is a problem for everyone, but they are alternatives. I'm not a doctor, I don't want to get into it, but socializing, a big thing. Actually talking to friends, hitting the gym, or walking enough, or exercising enough. Also, big part, because I talked about it in the last video or in the video before where I talked about dopamine. If you move enough, you study faster. I mean, that's like the more you move, the more hormones you put out, or the more hormones you use. I don't know how to say it in English. The more you move, the better you study. That's like a reaction from your body, like, oh, you gave me movement. I will actually give you like a little present. Okay, and the present is better concentration, better feeling, better mood, and understanding way faster. I talked about it the last time. Procrastination, big thing. Don't look into your phones. And drink enough water. Because dehydration, even though that's absurd for some people, because they say, yo, I drank like 2 or 3 coffees, I had like some sodas. That's not hydration. I mean, it is hydration, but that's not the hydration that you should do. I mean, having a glass of water is way better than drinking a soda or drinking only coffee. Even though when you drink coffee, you're not that thirsty. I know some people have it, but drinking enough water, like still water or sparkling, I don't know, instead of sodas, is the best way how to stay hydrated because your muscles need water, your brain needs water, your organs or your whole body needs water. So hydrate. Don't drink too much sodas. Don't drink only coffee. Stay enough hydrated. Drink normal water because that will help you to focus better. And also some vitamins like supplements and that stuff. But that's normal. These are the usual tips that you need to follow. I know, a so-called cliche, but these tips not only helped me, but a lot of people. And they are not talked just so they have a reason that they are talked all and all the time. Also, getting your sleep right, like sleep schedule, sleeping at least 7 hours a night, even though it's not possible sometimes when you study something hard or when you have a job or something. At least 6 hours should be your minimum to sleep, because you need sleep to actually function better. And if you don't have the time, just cut something out. I can guarantee you that looking into Instagram is the first thing you could cut out. I know I talk about it a lot because I see that as the biggest issue. If we move to the second section where the study techniques and study habits go, I think there are main things you need to realize to understand and learn faster. I'm not a med student, I'm not a law student, but I'm confident enough to say that I am able to learn way faster than the people around me, because I understood how to learn faster, how to remember more stuff, and how to actually keep the knowledge that I have for a longer period of time. I mean, it's normal when you don't practice it, or when you don't talk about it, or when you don't learn it for a longer period of time, you forget it. That's normal. When you, for example, study something and you don't recall it, for example, in the next 2, 3, 4 months, you could forget like all of it. That's, I mean, if you study it like for a longer period of time, sometimes impossible, but the longer you don't focus on it, the weaker your knowledge will get. Which brings us to the part where if you actively recall something, or if you remember it, or if you learn something for a longer period of time, like for example in some time periods, you actually boost your understanding and your memory for that specific field, subject, or topic. Long story short, the more the better. But if you're studying for a one-time exam, like for example a midterm, or an exam you know that's the last exam you need in your whole life, or that's the topic you know that you're not going to graduate from, or that's the topic you don't want to focus on, but you still want to get a good grade on it, the study techniques and study habits will improve your remembering and understanding, like at least for 100%, like they will push you to another level. The things that I do, for example, and they work on me like 100%, is the Feynman technique. And to be honest, I am using Feynman technique since I was 6 years old, or 5 years old, since I got to the first class, and I didn't even realize it, because I just imagined, since I was little, I don't know, maybe talent, or maybe somehow I just thought that it's the best way, but it's actually called the Feynman technique, and I didn't know about it back then. The Feynman technique is basically that you imagine you're a teacher and you explain it to someone else. For example, you learned how to, I don't know, for example, first or second grade, you remembered how to multiply something. And you just imagine that you are explaining it to someone else. For example, yeah, what's 5 times 5? And you just imagine that you're explaining to someone else. Or if you learn, for example, in chemistry something, or in physics something, you just try to remember as much as you can, and then you imagine that you are actually presenting it to someone else, even to your mom, dad, or a little child. If you can explain it in basic terms, you won. I mean, if you can explain a topic in basic terms, like for example something complicated like in physics, chemistry, or something in math, and you can explain it that everybody understands it and they know how to do something, for example, step by step, I can guarantee you understand it good enough that you could get an A, or at least a B, for example, in an exam. I know it's not the only way how to remember stuff, or how to remember material, or how to study, but the Feynman technique, in my opinion, best. That brings me to the part also where I would give a tip. If you are a student who wants to earn like any money, or if you are interested in teaching someone, tutoring, best way how to combine these two things together. If you tutor someone, for example, math, physics, or anything else, not only you can get like a source of income as a student, which is actually pretty good, like a couple dollars is always good, but also if you teach someone, for example, a simple topic, you boost your knowledge in that field, even though it's something easy for you. For example, it's something you had a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago in primary school, or like for example 5, 6 years ago, and you teach it to someone else, you actually boost your knowledge. It might sound weird, but boosting your knowledge in a field, like for example in an old subject, or in an old study material, or I don't know how to call it, in an old topic, can help you to understand the topics that go on and on and on, like the next topics, till you can build on to your topics that you study right now. It might sound like a little bit unlogic, but for example, in my experience, when I studied, for example, when I had math, like math classes, I tutored math a lot. I tutored like 15, 16, 17, or 18 years old people, even though I'm 21 right now, so 2, 3 years younger than me. And I tutored them something that I understand it very well. But when I got my material that I had to study, I understood it way faster than I could imagine, because I already practiced how to, how to explain stuff, how to think in math, how to, I hope it sounded a little bit logical, but if you, for example, know how to think in French, even though you're not French, or for example, you are a native speaker in English and you know how to speak fluently Spanish, you don't think in Spanish, like you don't translate the things like in your head and then speak. You just speak it like from zero, like bang, okay, right now I'm speaking, like you switch instantly. And that's the same case when you, for example, study math and then you study your own material. You know how to think in math way better, faster, and you're practiced in math. So the more you do, even simple things can help you to learn and study and understand harder things. Just to mention, this video had absolutely no script, alright? I just sat down and said, okay, I just want to record this, let's see how it goes. If I post this video, it would be insane, but let's see how I talked, because English is not my native language. This was absolutely freestyle. I have no script here, just to make sure you see it. I'm just uploading an old video which had a script, and this video had no script. This was basically how we call it in Czech, from the roof, spatra, which means I had no script. I had no plan what I was gonna talk about in the next 10 seconds. All just came into my head. So, but yeah, I think this was probably the most authentic video I could do right now without a script. So these were just basically facts that I know. Not prepared, nothing. Just focus on your habits you have, like on a daily basis, the things that you do, and then the things how you study. Feynman technique, spaced repetition, for example, active recall. There are many ways, like there are many methods, like blur thing, and more. But I have more on my Instagram account where I post these things. Again, I'm not a med student, I'm not a law student, but I know how to study way faster. I tutor a lot of people. I also teach. I have classes where I teach people languages, math, and that stuff. So I know a little bit more than some people about studying. So I'm teaching, I'm tutoring a lot, and I understood how to remember things way faster than the average human, how to remember things way faster, how to understand it way faster. And yeah, I'm teaching right now, I'm tutoring people, and I'm trying to teach them how to do the same. So if this video helped you somehow, even though it was without a script, I had no clue what I was going to talk about in the next seconds. This was all like freestyle, if I call it like that. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you could understand me, and I hope that we can see us in the next video. Have a great day, have a great week, and see ya. Bye.